News 2 at 10.
Extremely dangerous people, well armed, and traveling high speed through our community was a grave concern. And we acted accordingly, and they were soon captured by us and other agencies.
Now at 10, a takedown in Rutherford County. The two escaped inmates out of Georgia accused of killing two prison guards, now in handcuffs. Ricky DeBose and Donnie Rowe are in jail after being arrested just a few hours ago near I-24 in Rutherford County. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Egan, and we begin tonight with a breaking news alert. We've been following this manhunt closely, and the search is now over after a dramatic capture in Rutherford County. Ricky DeBose and Donnie Rowe had been on the run for 3 days. The two are wanted murder suspects for killing two corrections officers on a work detail bus in Putnam County, Georgia. So I-24 eastbound is still closed at this point near mile marker 91. That's where police surrounded the suspects. The men fired at officers before a foot chase and led to Pruitt Road just off of the highway. That's where the two were captured and handcuffed. Now, we just heard from the TBI and the THP at a news conference. And News 2's Adam Snyder is starting our live team coverage. Adam, he's been keeping up with the newest information. Adam, tell us what you found out.
Well, Eric, it's hard to believe this nationwide manhunt came to an end on a rural county road in Rutherford County, but this whole situation started earlier today with reports of a stolen car in Shelbyville. That press conference wrapped up just moments ago, and we actually learned the harrowing details that led to that stolen car. We're told that the couple who owned the car were held hostage by these two suspects for up to 3 hours before they stole the car. Those victims then turned around and called authorities, and that's what broke this whole case wide open. Rutherford County deputies later spotted that stolen vehicle and tried for a traffic stop, and then a chase ensued, a chase that lasted right around 10 miles and reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. And we're told the suspects actually fired a weapon out the back window, and they struck two deputies' cars. But we're told no law enforcement were injured during the chase. Now, that stolen vehicle would then crash, and Rowe and DuBois took off on foot near mile marker 91, where they ended up over on Pruitt Drive. And we're told that a homeowner actually spotted them trying to steal another car. So that homeowner came outside armed with a handgun of some sort, and then with the help of another neighbor, held these two suspects at gunpoint, waiting for authorities to arrive. And neighbors in the area say everyone in the area was ready to take action.
Everybody out here is hunters or ex-military. We're all armed, and you know, if there would have been any shots fired, everybody would have responded. So, but obviously nobody needed to do that. The cops were here and did what they needed to do. Took them down.
And those authorities arrived, and they took those suspects into custody without incident outside that home. Tonight, the DuBois and Rowe are in the Rutherford County Jail. It's unclear at this point where they will be headed from here, whether they will face charges here in Tennessee or be extradited first back to Georgia. And we're told that I-24 eastbound, for anybody that's going to be coming up here, you're going to want to find another route. It will be closed for several hours as TBI and THP work to clear this scene. But what a night out here, Eric. Reporting live in Rutherford County, Adam Snyder, News 2.
All right, thanks for your work, Adam. Also, everybody, we're learning tonight the two inmates shared a jail cell, but again, escaping out of Putnam County, Georgia, Tuesday. Tonight, they're in the Rutherford County Jail. The News 2's Larry Flowers is finding out why they were serving time to begin with. And more team coverage. Larry.
We understand those two suspects are currently being interviewed by local, state, and federal authorities. Once that is done, they will be booked here into the Rutherford County Jail. Donnie Rowe was serving life without the possibility of parole for multiple armed robbery convictions out of Bibb County. We understand he was also convicted on multiple aggravated assault charges and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. The other suspect, Ricky DeBose, was serving a 20-year prison sentence for charges like armed robbery and aggravated assault out of Elbert County back in 2014. He was also serving time for multiple other charges and had served 3 terms in prison. Now, both of those suspects are associated with white supremacy. Knowing those two suspects had already killed 2 correctional officers in Georgia, Rutherford County authorities say they were careful even when they started shooting at them.
It's a highly dangerous situation. 2 extremely dangerous people, well armed, and traveling high speed through our community was a grave concern. and we acted accordingly, and they were soon captured by us and other agencies.
About 30 minutes ago, Rutherford County detention officers came outside and did a sweep of the perimeter of the jail. They checked for locked doors, even the chain on the fences outside. Of course, they don't want to take any chances with these two fugitives. At the Rutherford County Jail, Larry Flowers, News 2.
Such intense moments earlier. All right, thank you, Larry. Now, before their dramatic arrest, the inmates spent nearly 3 terrifying hours inside a Shelbyville couple's home. And while there, the men allegedly tied up one of the homeowners. The couple says they're lucky that they're still alive. Our breaking news alert coverage continues now with Nick Calloway at the scene of the home. Nick.
Somehow those fugitives wound up here in Bedford County. I'm told they arrived in a stolen car. They ditched that car out here on the side of the road, and then they made their way up this driveway. At the top of that drive is a couple's home. I'm told they forced their way in at gunpoint. Now, just a little while ago, I talked with Sheriff Austin Swing, who walked me through the details of this harrowing story.
They were in their home from about 2:30 p.m. till about 5:30 p.m. They wrestled with the man and got control of him and threatened both of them's lives. They, according to the man and the lady, put guns to both of them's head and threatened to kill them if they resisted. They're extremely traumatized. I know both of them, great people, but they're extremely traumatized.
After all that, those suspects stole a car here and left. The couple that lives here called 911, and not long after is when those suspects were caught in the neighboring Rutherford County. Tonight, I'm told investigators with the Bedford County Sheriff's Office and Shelbyville Police Department are here alongside agents from the TBI and FBI, all assisting in this investigation. In Bedford County, Nick Calloway, News 2.
Right, just so very fortunate everyone is okay tonight. Thank you, Nick. Also, Downey Rowe has family in Middle Tennessee, and we spoke to his sister, Lily Jackson. She talked about her feelings tonight after his capture.
Oh, Lord. Prayers out for the families that their life was taken. I'm just happy that it's over with. It's not a good feeling at all because my heart bleeds for the people that their lives have been taken. My heart also bleeds for my brother for having to be in that state of mind.
And once again, Georgia authorities also responding to the arrests tonight and breathing a sigh of relief that these dangerous criminals are off the streets.
Quite honestly, you look very tired. How do you feel about this, that after 3 days?
Well, I know I don't look good, but trust me, I feel good. And I'm happy, I'm elated. I'm still tremendously sad about these officers.
Indeed. Now, there was a $130,000 reward offered, but no word yet if anyone will receive that money. DuBose and Rowe are facing local charges in 3 Tennessee counties, plus a federal warrant for the charges in Georgia. Now, up next, they'll go before a state judge here in Tennessee and face extradition back to Georgia. All right, keep it right here on News 2 as we continue to cover this breaking news. We'll have updates continuously here on air and always online at WKRN.com. Moving now to more news. A congressional charity baseball game in Washington tonight turned into a picture of bipartisanship and solidarity. Republican politicians shot and wounded just 1 day earlier during practice for this game. New tonight, ABC's Lana Zach is in Washington with more on tonight's emotional return to the ball field.
The very first pitch thrown by Special Agent David Bailey, who rushed into gunfire. This friendly rivalry, more than a century old between Republicans and Democrats, is more than a game. United. Both parties paying tribute to their colleagues still in critical condition. Representative Stephen Scalise. A standing ovation for him. Scalise was shot as the Republican team prepared for this game.
With him, Matt Mika, still in critical condition, and Capitol Police Officer Crystal Griner, listed by the hospital as being in good condition.
But those who could come did. Legislative aide Zach Barth and Congressman Roger Williams arrived on crutches. Some members of the First family were in attendance, but the president himself remained behind due to security concerns, sending instead this video.
The game will go on.
And we are learning more about the shooter, 66-year-old James Hodgkinson. Agents discovering his cell phone, computer, and an anti-Trump poster in the van that had been his home for the last few months. His wife still in disbelief.
I had no idea this was going to happen. and I don't know what to say about it.
6 years ago, Hodgkinson spoke to a local Fox affiliate in St. Louis about the Occupy Wall Street movement.
The 99% are getting pushed around, and the 1% are just not giving a damn.
But his actions and beliefs not splintering the political parties as much as bringing them together.
The mood here tonight was certainly a festive one. People held up signs like these and even traded congressional baseball cards. There was plenty of party and country pride on full display here, and they raised a lot of money for charity, well over $1 million. But we'll have to see how much that spirit of bipartisanship actually translates when everybody's back at the office. Reporting from Nationals Park, Lana Zach, ABC News.
Thank you, Lana. Still good to see that only 24 hours later. We appreciate that report. All right, Congressman Scalise, by the way, has now made it through his third surgery. He's still listed in critical condition, but we're now told the hospital says he is improving. Let's check in now on the forecast with Danielle Breezy. Danielle, some fog expected for the morning drive into work.
Yes, that's right, Eric. In fact, some dense fog likely, especially in Kentucky, and it does look like even Nashville, our area, is looking to potentially issue a dense fog advisory. So just be aware and give yourself plenty of extra time. Right now, that dense fog advisory is for areas over the border in Kentucky from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning. Now, once it burns off, we're going to warm up very quickly. Right now, you can already see visibility is dropping in Columbia. And once the winds go calm and the temperature starts to drop off a little bit, that will happen. 71 right now in Nashville, though. It's in the 60s in most spots. As we go through the next 12 hours, say, in Murfreesboro, we're going to start to warm up, though. Once that fog burns off by 10 o'clock, already 80 degrees, going back into the 90s. We'll talk about how long the heat and humidity sticks around for coming up.
All right, thank you, Danielle. More news coming now. News 2 continuing to explore hunger at home in our day-long coverage today. In fact, up next, we're taking an in-depth look at food deserts, what they are and where they are, also how they can be eliminated. And News 2 is fighting hunger with a virtual food drive. Our total right now, just over $5,000. Help us continue to raise money. Our goal is $10,000. You can help out by heading to our website, WKRN.com, and you can find a link on our homepage. We'll be right back. Back, everyone. Our coverage of tonight's breaking news alert continues now. The TBI just tweeting out this photo. It's a close-up of the escaped Georgia prisoners. You can see them both lying on the ground here, shirtless, and just moments after they were captured in Rutherford County. Of course, you can stay with News 2 here on air, also online, for continuing coverage of this story. Moving on now. For many adults faced with hunger, it comes down to making tough decisions about money. And for those who live in food deserts, the problem gets more complicated. News 2's Jessica Jaglois is taking a closer look at what and where food deserts are in Nashville and what can be done to eliminate them.
Kaida Martin would do anything for her 2 sons. She has 2 jobs and takes home about $400 a week.
I feel like if I was making more money, I wouldn't be in this situation either, so yeah.
Sometimes that's not enough, and Martin says she's been faced with the decision, pay for food or pay her rent.
It comes to a point where I'll be like, well, darn, if I don't pay my rent, will I get put out? And I don't want that, because you always want to have somewhere for your kids to stay. If not me, at least my kids at least have somewhere for them to stay.
Getting food is more difficult because of where Martin lives, near the Napier-Suticum housing project, which is deemed a food desert by Second Harvest Food Bank. A food desert is a low-income area where 1 of 3 residents lives more than a mile from a grocery store. In rural areas, the distance is 10 miles. Nashville has 4 food deserts: North Nashville, East Nashville, South Nashville and Edge Hill, and the Napier-Suticum area. Here, you won't see much fresh fruit and veggies. Instead, there are mom-and-pop shops that often sell items high in fat, sugar, and sodium. That's one reason why low-income areas often have higher instances of diabetes and heart disease.
The likelihood of you eating good, nutritious food, if it's not available to you on a consistent basis, or if prices are much higher than what you can afford on your budget, then you're probably going to eat the items that are going to fill your stomach up.
Janie Day is the president of Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee. She told us why food deserts exist. Day says food deserts are caused caused when grocery stores don't open in low-income areas because the people who live nearby may not be able to afford their products, which wouldn't support the store's bottom line. So those shoppers have to go elsewhere, oftentimes without a car or reliable public transportation. Tequila Lee Fuller doesn't have a car and lives in the East Nashville food desert.
But there's options. They're just so far from us. So if you don't have a car or you don't have money to get on a bus, you have to walk. No matter what day, you know, what time of year it is. If my kids have to eat. I can go without eating, but my kids have to eat. It's part of their nourishment. It's part of their development. It's part of them reaching their potential with their brain. They need that good food.
But good food comes at a cost. The USDA says a family of 4 on a strict budget still spends nearly $150 a week on groceries. Day says to eliminate food deserts, Tennesseans need access to healthy foods at reasonable costs.
They're having to make decisions. Do I put food on my table, or do I keep a roof over my head? Or if I'm a senior citizen, do I purchase my medicine, or do I put food on my table? Now, these are decisions that no one in our community should ever have to make. But if those are the decisions, sometimes nutrition will suffer in that decision.
Jessica Jaglois, News 2 at 10.
News 2 is fighting hunger with a virtual food drive. Our total right now, just over $5,000. But you can help us reach our $10,000 goal by heading to our website, WKRN.com. You can find a link right there for us on the homepage.
That's all for a good cause. You know what else is a good cause tonight?
What's that?
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
So I figured
moon pies in the forecast, huh?
I figured we would celebrate because everyone's been telling me that moon pies are the thing to do in Middle Tennessee.
It on social media. We're going to try these out.
I got over 300 comments of what we should be eating.
Really?
Yeah. So he's eating a banana, by the way, folks. What do you think? Is it good? I'm gonna have to wait for mine till after weather. You just table that. He looks pretty happy with that one.
I need some milk.
Okay. We'll find you some milk. I'm going to go do weather. Here we go. I'm going to talk about, thank you, Moon Pies, for that. There you go. All right, let's talk about what's going on for that weather here. And as you can see, the storms we saw earlier this afternoon pushing well south of us, but still a stormy night for folks in Georgia as well as Alabama. We've had several reports of wind damage coming in, especially as it went past Middle Tennessee, really down into Alabama. Although Middle Tennessee did pick up a few reports of damage and even fires due to lightning. Right now, though, as you look, storm tracker radar is quiet. Things are quieting down. One thing that happened, though, with the rain today, the first heat wave ended, folks, so that's great news. We hit a high of 88 degrees before the storms rolled in. 86 is where we should be this time of year. So far this year, up to 7 days of 90 or above. And remember, that record year was 1954. Now temperatures have settled back in the 60s and 70s. And the big story tonight and tomorrow morning is going to be the fog. Dense fog advisory up for areas in the gray color here over the border in Kentucky from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. And I wouldn't be surprised if more areas in Middle Tennessee get under this dense fog advisory. So give yourself plenty of extra time first thing tomorrow morning. Overnight tonight, the dense fog forms. It's around 70 in the 60s. Tomorrow, 92 degrees. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. And because of that, we could see a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. It does look like most of us tomorrow stay dry, though, but we will have very warm conditions. Let me show you future tracker here and what I mean. Notice by 11 o'clock, a few showers popping up out east, really over the plateau is the best bet, I think, for some pop-up showers tomorrow. Otherwise, just hot, just humid, and more the same as we head towards Saturday. Saturday, a low chance for rain, but Sunday and Monday, rain chances increase. Yes, sorry. Sunday, I know, is Father's Day, folks. It does look like, Dad, if you want to get out for some golfing, I would do it Saturday instead of Sunday. The other thing is the temperatures with that rain coming in will fall back into the 80s and the mid-80s below average on Monday. And it's also going to kick out that humidity by Tuesday. So there is a silver lining with all this rain coming in. Let's talk about it now in the storm tracker 7-day forecast over the next couple of days. Again, we're still hot. We're still humid. right into your weekend. Now, Sunday is Father's Day, so I do want to talk about what it looks like for you dads out there. And it does look like there could be some storms, some rain out there, 87 for that high. Afternoon, evening storms look more likely right into Monday. So let me show you this on Future Tracker here. I'll break it out for you. This is around Sunday at 8 a.m. on Father's Day. Notice a few showers out there, but better chances coming in the late afternoon into the evening for more widespread rain. And then as we head through the overnight hours, more rain's going to push on in. And this is your Monday morning ride into work. It is going to be wet for you folks and probably wet for the ride home. Once that happens, though, and moves out of here, Tuesday is my pick of the next 7 days. Mid-80s, mostly sunny and comfortable. We're back after this.
Back to more local news now. It was a big night for 43 new Metro police officers. These men and women graduated tonight after spending 5.5 months in training. Mayor Megan Barry and Chief Steve Anderson both presided over this ceremony. For the next 6 months, the graduates will rotate among the precincts and ride with field training officers before policing on their own. A warm congratulations to them. Mr. Curtis, thanks for joining us.
What's up, birthday boy?
Hey, yes. Not
21,
much.
get to have that first beer tonight.
Good. I know, after all those years, you and I, we're going out.
No, we really are. All right, the Titans have wrapped up camp, and Mike Malarkey has an unusual reason to be happy. What that is, next on News 2 at 10. All right, gang, let's talk Titans. The next time they take the field in Nashville will be the first day of training camp. And right now, at the end of off-season workouts, they say it's the best they've looked in years. We've heard that message throughout OTAs and this week's minicamp. But maybe the most impressive thing about this team is its new players, as it was hard to tell the difference between the rookies and the veterans.
There's not a bad part of practice. Practice remains, you wouldn't tell who the rookies are and who's not, as they all fit in and are doing well.
A lot of times it takes a first-year guy until training camp to really get the grasp of the playbook. But they did it pretty fast, and if they come in and they can perform and get the job done, we're definitely looking forward to it. They're going to do big things for us, definitely.
All the rookies, man, they stepped up and been playing really well. Like our young corners, man, you can't really tell the difference between a veteran or a rookie on this team because everybody's communicating to make the job a lot easier.
With minicamp in the rearview mirror, Vegas still has New England as the Super Bowl favorite. The Titans' odds have actually gotten worse, though, dropping from 40-1 to 50-1. On the ice, the Predators coaching staff will not include assistant coach Phil Housley next season. That's because today he was introduced as the new head coach of the Buffalo Sabres, the same team that drafted him.
I didn't realize how passionate the people are here. And, you know, Karen and I started our family here. We had 2 kids born in Buffalo. And I feel that I'd like to try to get that passion back.
Round 1 of the U.S. Open, and let's just say Ricky Fowler was ready to play, already 5 under. His second shot on number 2 sets him up for another easy birdie. That's well struck. Then on 7, he had this putt to get to 7 under, and he turned in the best round of the day. Drano. Ricky Fowler has the first round lead at 7 under. Brant Snedeker from Nashville is in the hunt, though, at 2 under par. Sounds hosting the Iowa Cubs again. Paul Blackburn in a jam for Nashville, but gets out of it with a 6-4-3 double play. But the Cubs return the favor. Frank Burrito grounds it to a 6-4-3 double play to kill the Sounds threat. Nashville goes on to lose 4-2. More News 2 at 10 after this.
Remember, News 2 is fighting hunger with a virtual food drive. Our total right now, just over $5,000. Help us reach our $10,000 goal by heading to our website, WKRN.com. You can find a link on the homepage.
Oh, that's great. And temperatures tomorrow, unfortunately, going to skyrocket back in the 90s, a chance for a pop-up storm or 2.
All right, also, stay with, we're partying.
Okay.
Well, stay with News 2 for Good Morning Nashville, the latest on breaking news.